Hi everyone, I'm Chris.
And this is Milton with the Sports Truth.
The truth will set you free.
On today's show, we are going to be talking about the NBA playoffs, the first round, who's going to advance. And we are also, it's a little early, but we're going to be talking about the 8 division champs in the NFL and also let you know who some of the wild cards are going to be and pretty much who doesn't have a chance. So we'll start off with the NBA. We got the first round of the playoffs starting really soon. So I'll go over some of these matchups. For our first matchup, we got the Nets and the Celtics. The Celtics season pretty much ended with, as far as aspirations of a championship, when Jaylen Brown went down. So right now you have Jason Tatum, former Dookie. Uh, I think he scored 50 points the other day in that play-in game. So he's an amazing player. But what it reminds me of is Superman 2. Okay? In Superman 2, you have Superman battling the 3 Superman villains, General Zod, Ursa, and Non. So when they first battled, they got the best of them. And I sort of see that same thing happen in here. If Jason Tatum is sort of a Superman, he's dealing with the triumvirate of Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. I think they only played 7 games altogether, but they are ready for the playoffs. And I believe out of 18 sports writers, 18 picked the Nets. So it's not like I'm making a big deal of it. I think the Nets are probably going to sweep the Celtics. The Celtics were lucky to make it even into the playoffs. The next one is a good matchup. We got the Heat against the Bucks. This is usually a bad matchup for the Bucks. The Heat were able to beat them last year. That was in the bubble. This is a whole different team. They added Drew Holiday, which gives them that steady point guard that's able to control the game. And Giannis, every year he's extended his game. I mean, he's got a nice 3-point shot. He's got that little jumper at the free throw line. And he got the mega contract. I don't see him losing in the first round to the Heat. Might it go the distance? Yes, but we got the Bucks winning that. The next matchup is the Mavericks and the Clippers. Luka is pretty amazing. Probably one of the best young players in the game. But the problem with the Mavericks is that they only have Luka. And if you want to win championships, look at the last 20 years. You need another superstar. I don't see another superstar on the Mavericks. On the Clips, you do have Leonard, yeah, and you have George Paul or Paul George, sorry. So I see the Clips beating the Mavericks probably in about 6 games. The next matchup we got the Blazers and the Nuggets. If Jamal Murray was playing on the Nuggets, I'd probably take the Nuggets, but they've been playing really well. But I think it's finally going to catch up with them. It's a it's Dame time. So Damian Lillard, the Blazers offense. They probably have one of the most explosive offenses in the NBA, and I think they take this series. The next one is a tight matchup between the 4 and the 5, which is the Hawks and the Knicks. The Knicks surprised a lot of people. They've been so bad for so long. They had finally a winning record, and Tom Thibodeau, he is the right coach for this job. And the Knicks are one of those teams that had the most minutes played among their starters, so that continuity is there. And the Knicks win the first round matchup. I don't think they get very far, but they do that much. The next one is the 76ers versus the Wizards. I like what Doc Rivers is doing in Philly. He's used Embiid very judiciously, and I don't remember Embiid having many injuries, so I like to see what Doc Rivers does. He did a pretty good job with the Clippers, but came up short. I think with the Sixers, he will do a lot better. And then there's the hated Lakers versus the Suns. I think this is a perfect matchup for the Lakers. They were able to beat Stephen Curry and get the matchup with the Suns. The thing with the Suns is you can't go from being a bad team to being the number 2 ranked team in the West in the NBA and going to win the championship. If you go back to the 80s and Jordan's Bulls, they had to go through the Pistons, several losing playoff seasons to get to the championship. So you can't suck, then be good and win the championship. It doesn't work that way. You got to pay your dues. LeBron is going to exploit the inexperience of the Suns, and the Lakers win. I don't even think it goes to 7 games. I want to say 6. And the last one is the Utah Jazz. We still don't know who they play. If the Warriors win, which I think they will, this could be a really fun series. I mean, the Jazz have a whole bunch of three-point specialists. Stephen Curry is the three-point specialist. And if for some reason the Grizzlies win with Ja Morant, I think that it's a short series. The Jazz will make quick work of them. If the Jazz end up playing the Warriors, it could go to 6 or 7, but the Jazz will still win that game. But it's a lot of fun to watch Stephen Curry. I mean, I've never seen a shooter like him. He's definitely by far the best shooter I've ever seen, whether it's games I got to see or old highlights of NBA history. So that's just a quick take on the first round of the playoffs. Next, we are going to go through the division champs. There are 8 divisions, therefore there are 8 division champs. So we're going to start off with the AFC. I'm going to tell you who's not going to make it, who gets in as a wild card, and who wins the division. All right, so we're going to start off with the AFC West, which I'm sure a lot of our listeners are familiar with. Who is not going to make it? Okay, first of all, the Raiders get a defense. The Broncos get a quarterback. You know what? If you could somehow put both of these teams together, then they might have a chance, because with the Broncos defense, and I mean, not that Derek Carr is a great quarterback, but yeah, even then they probably still they might make the playoffs, but they wouldn't win the division. Okay, let's see where we're at. Okay, so then we got the Chargers. I give them about 11-6 record. They are a wild card team, as a friend pointed out to me. They don't have the experience yet. I mean, you have a rookie coach. You have Justin Herbert, who's in his second year. I think they split with the Chiefs, and prior to the Chiefs rebuilding their offensive line, I was giving the Chargers the edge. But hey, Charger fans, get into the playoffs. That's all you could ask for. So that's my take on the Chargers. So that leaves the Chiefs, who were left for dead at the last time we saw them in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes was running for his life without protection. He must have felt like Hitler in the bunker with the Red Army descending upon. That, I don't know. I mean, he was running for his life, But what they were able to do is the GM, along with Andy Reid, probably Patrick Mahomes, because in the Chiefs organization, Patrick Mahomes has a say, unlike Aaron Rodgers. Ooh. Or even Tom Brady towards the end didn't have much of a say. But Patrick Mahomes is definitely a decision maker in this. I mean, I don't think the Chiefs will go about putting it that way, but I pretty much guarantee it. They got 8 new offensive linemen. They traded for them. They got them in free agency. You got people coming back from the COVID. So Patrick Mahomes is going to be protected like he has the Secret Service. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in front of him. He's not going to be touched much. They still have issues with their run defense, so you probably don't want to be playing someone like the Cleveland Browns. That's why I'm really interested in seeing their regular season game. But if they could avoid a team like the Browns in the playoffs, then it'll be easier to get to the Super Bowl. You know, so no big surprise there. I mean, I'm going with the Chiefs that have been to the last 2 Super Bowls and the last 3 AFC championships.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, right. I mean, any rebuttal, or I mean, does that sound about right?
No, everything's logical. I think the Chargers definitely will split with the Chiefs. They'll win one.
Okay.
And everyone will cry havoc. Oh, the sky is falling. Like, no. Sports truth. You heard it here first.
Yeah, exactly. They played them tough the last couple of years, and if they just had a coach who knew how to close it out. Sorry, Anthony Lynn. And I'm a big believer in Brandon Staley, so
he'll close it out.
He'll close it out.
He'll
Exactly. He's
one.
a closer. Yeah. Closer, or coffee is for closers.
Exactly.
Right? Where's that? What's that movie from?
I don't even know what movie
No,
that's
okay.
from.
It's if you have a chance to watch it, Glengarry Glen Ross.
Really?
Some amazing actors. You're talking Kevin Spacey, Baldwin, a whole bunch of other ones. So,
wow, okay. I'll have to watch that with you sometime.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Reaction channel coming up.
All right. Next up, because I don't want to make this podcast too long, I want to be able to have our listeners not tune out. Next is the AFC East. Okay.
Oh.
Who's not? You know what? I'm going to start with the Patriots.
Patriots aren't going to. They're not going to win it.
They're not. Okay. They were 7-9 last year. You brought back the worst quarterback of last year, and to replace him, you have a rookie quarterback. Rookie quarterbacks usually don't do that well. I know that Belichick overspent on tight ends and backup wide receivers. I think it was like $350 million. I've never seen so much money spent, and I mean, I'm not going to question Belichick's mind because his is
still one of the greatest coaches. Yeah.
Still one of the greatest coaches. But you know what, Patriots? I was looking at, if you look at our what's that thing called?
Our NFL division champions, 2002, 2018.
I mean, what, 15 straight? Sorry, Patriots, you are no longer the big dog. Okay, you had all those Super Bowls and all those division championships. Yeah. It's over for a while. Next, sorry, Jets. You're heading in the right direction. I love Coach Saleh. He's making all the right moves, but you got a rookie coach and you got a rookie quarterback. So
again, there's a lot of rookies now.
Yeah, there are.
Wow.
You know, the NFL, they want you to win now. You know, winning mañana is just not cutting it. It's tomorrow for those people that don't speak Spanish. All right, Dolphins. I'm going to give you a wild card. Okay, Tua is still trying to find himself as a quarterback.
So he's kind of technically a rookie still, since he missed half of the season.
Yeah.
So now we have 3 rookies.
Right.
In the AFC East, basically.
Right. No,
oh my God.
For sure. But, you know, he's given Jalen Waddle, given some protection on the O-line, an edge rusher. So their drafting has been really well. But when Brian Flores is trying to talk up his trying to talk up his quarterback, you know, there's just something a little bit amiss there. I don't think the Dolphins are ready to challenge. So that leaves the Bills.
They win it.
They win the division. They don't have much of a run game. Supposedly they have like 8 running backs on the roster, and they do have Matt Breida, who used to play for the 49ers, and he went over to the Dolphins, but I never heard much from him. So if Matt Breida is used like he was with the 49ers, then maybe the Bills, because that's the only thing that they're really missing. Yeah. And then Sean McDermott, he believes in building the defense from the back to the front. He's protecting his secondary by his first 2 picks draft picks were on edge rushers, and then his next 2 picks were some nice offensive tackles to protect one of the best quarterbacks in the league, Josh Allen.
I can't believe you said that. Imagine saying that 3 years ago.
Right. And then they also added Emmanuel Sanders to take pressure off of Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs was everything and then some last year, just stretching that field. So I think the Emmanuel Sanders is definitely an upgrade over John Brown or whoever else they have. And I think they still have Cole Beasley as that slot receiver. So if they can get any production out of their running game, watch out. Bills will have an easier time to get to the Super Bowl because they don't have to go through the Bucks, who they'll probably meet there. So,
oh boy.
Yeah. All right. Next up is the AFC North, who is not in. Sorry, Bengals. Yeah, I mean,
sorry, Joe Burrow.
Yeah, Joe Burrow. He'll make some strides. He does have his favorite weapon, his LSU buddy, Jamar Chase. But there's a lot of things working against the Bengals.
The Bungles thing.
Yeah.
I always say it. You finally said it.
Yes. All right. 1, you have no defense. 2, Zach Taylor is just not a very memorable coach. I mean, when I see him being interviewed, and his record isn't the greatest. And you play in the AFC North. 2 of the top 10 teams in my power rankings, the Ravens and Browns, are in your division. So,
and the Steelers are still good.
Yeah, and the Steelers
against the lower ranked teams.
Yeah, so you know,
have to deal with
that. They're going to have to be in the spot where they're normally used to being. I mean, next up, sorry Steelers, you don't make it either. I think it was a no-brainer picking Najee Harris. Yeah,
Najee Harris.
Najee, thank you.
Harris.
Najee
He's gonna
Harris.
run you over like a freight train.
He is. But you know what? Okay, so you have Big Ben, sort of an aging quarterback.
Yep.
And then you have Chase Claypool. You have Juju Smith-Schuster. So you have all the skill weapons and that aging quarterback. But man, that offensive line is missing some pieces, either through retirement or through free agency. I think they lost their left tackle, I want to say, to the Colts.
I think so, yeah.
Alejandro Villanueva.
Something like that,
yeah.
So they lost that.
Yeah, their defense is still in the top 10, but Bud Dupree and some other defensive players they've lost. So I don't know. At some point, you got to start building for the future, and they're still trying to hold on to their past. I know that Roethlisberger thank you, has won 2 Super Bowls, and Mike Tomlin is a tough-minded coach, and he's won a Super Bowl, but it's not happening, Steeler fans. Okay. Next up, Ravens. I am going to give you a wild card. That's what you get. You've made the playoffs 3 straight times. Let's make it 4. Nice job of picking up Rashad Bateman and
some wide receiver,
their wide receiver, and some nice protection. But it is hard to give the raisins.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ravens a division championship when you are the 32nd ranked passing team. That's not enough to win. I mean, you got to at least get up into the mid.
So 16,
15, 16. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to be the 32nd ranked team again, you're going to come in as a wild card. You might win 1 game, and then you're going to get bounced.
Shut down because they're just going to have 8 men in the box the entire time.
Exactly.
They're just going to run blitz you the whole time.
Okay, so...
you didn't say who's going to win her. The Browns.
Oh, yeah.
The Browns are the AFC North division winner. Obviously.
Yes.
They're the only one who can really give the Chiefs a run for their money in an AFC championship game. Imagine that championship game.
Oh, yeah,
Man,
for sure. I'm hoping that's what it is. But then, let's not forget about the Bills either. Or let's just do a Browns-Bills and just leave the Chiefs out of it. How about we do that?
Yeah, right.
Not probably going to happen, but that's wishful thinking. The Browns last year, they won 11 games. And in their playoff, they had they had a double-digit win against the hated Steelers.
Can't believe it.
Yeah. Are they better than last year? Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely. They have the best offensive line in football. you can argue some other ones, but I'm going to go with them. You have the best backfield. That one, you better not argue with me because you will lose. I mean, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, and they probably got.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. I mean, those are starters that split time.
Yep.
And the secondary was completely rebuilt through free agency, and I think their first pick was cornerback too.
Yep. And they got the edge rusher. I always forget his name.
Oh yeah, I know that's a good one.
He's really good. That's why I'm
Wasu
like, wow.
or something.
Yeah, I can't believe I forgot his name.
I know, I can't believe
Really
I should
good.
have it written down here,
Yeah.
and I don't. Okay, and then you have Jadeveon Clowney,
Jadeveon
opposite of
That's the guy that we forgot the name.
Myles Garrett.
Yeah, there we go, Myles Garrett. Thank
yeah.
you. Sorry, Myles Garrett. Please don't sack us, please. You're a beast, please.
Yeah. So, Jadeveon Clowney the last couple years with the Seahawks and some of the other, I'm not sure who else he's been with besides the Texans. He's
Yeah.
a hired mercenary. He's going to get
He's
you
really
a
good.
few sacks, and just as long as you're not double teaming, I would still double team or chip Myles Garrett. But
Gotta double team both of
the
them.
only Achilles I could think on the Browns is not much. I'm going to go experience. Because they
man.
have the quarterback, because they rely on their running game. They got a great offensive line. Their defense is a top 10 defense. Kevin Stefanski has turned around an organization that has had trouble for 20 years. They might have some other small...
They got OBJ wide receiver.
Yeah,
They're pretty much covered.
They are pretty much
everything.
covered.
What the heck?
Yeah. So are you good with the AFC North?
I agree with that. AFC North is probably the strongest division in the AFC. For sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You could compare it to
If you want to compare it to the NFC West.
NFC West.
They should have a showdown.
All
They
right.
should have one-on-ones.
And last but not least is the AFC South. Who's not going to make it?
The Texans.
Texans, exactly.
If you said anyone else
I know,
to that, I
you
would
would take my
cut
NFL
off, yeah,
card,
take
right?
NFL card, cut off
Absolutely, yeah.
the show, leave
Right.
the garage.
Sorry, we can no longer do this podcast. We have unreliable.
Info sources.
Yeah. They have no quarterback. They have a rookie coach. They have a first-year GM. They have an owner who has no idea what he's doing. You have what looked like a Hall of Fame quarterback in Deshaun Watson having 22 civil lawsuits, all of which are sexually based, sexual assaults.
Yep.
So you have no draft capital. You have no direction. They are clearly a team that's probably going to go 0-16.
You gave away all your good players. Like,
You gave away
thank
all,
you.
yeah.
Cardinals, as a Cardinals fan, I thank you. Thanks
And the
for giving JJ
GM
Watt.
got 20 new players. They're all like marginal starters.
So you're telling me if I wanted to buy an NFL team that I should buy the Texans? They're going to be cheap, right?
Oh, they'll be dirt cheap. Yeah, I mean, you can probably get them at half the price
Yeah,
that
let
you would
me
get
get
the
them
Cowboys.
for $50 billion. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Next on the list, I have the Titans. They've had... I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year. They've had 4 9-7 seasons. Last year they had 11-5. Their offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, is gone. And who is Tannehill exactly throwing to? I mean, I know he has A.J. Brown, who is a stud.
Yep.
He has some occasional drops, but you need that other wide receiver or tight end. Corey Davis is gone, and they're...
You think Derrick Henry's going to drop off like that? They might still make the playoffs. You never know.
They might. If they did, I wouldn't be surprised. But the
Right
most
now,
I
yeah.
would give them is a wild card. This is early. It's not even
It's
early.
okay, we'll look back at
We'll
this
look-
and
yeah.
laugh at how wrong we were. But that's fine.
Yeah, they'll pound the rock. But you drafted cornerback Caleb Farley. Who knows if he's a shutdown corner? Chris and I were discussing this, how it gets so overly used, shutdown corner.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey, Darrelle Revis, Deion Sanders, those are shutdown corners. So I get tired of when sports analysts say, "Oh, he's a shutdown corner," and then you
No.
see and you
True
see
shutdown corners
True shutdown
is what we should
corner.
be saying,
Don't
yeah.
can't touch him. Got to
Yeah.
be with him, right on him.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but they still have one of the worst pass defenses. You have a defensive coordinator in Mike Vrabel running the show. They've added some pieces on defense, but they've also lost a lot. And when you have 4 9-7 seasons, 11-5, whatever, they're just going to go through a bump. and they are probably not going to be in the playoffs. Maybe a wild card at 9, 10, 11 wins. That is their ceiling.
So you think the Jaguars are actually going to make the playoffs?
Actually, I think they have a chance.
Really?
Yeah. Okay.
The
next...
rookie QB.
That's okay. All right. Next, Colts.
Oh.
Yeah. Quarterback on a brand new team with a lot to prove. This is why I'm bumping the Colts out. Here's their first 5 games, okay? Which is to me a 1-4 start. You start off 1-4.
Let me see. Say the names.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Mm-hmm. All right. Seahawks. Okay.
They lose.
Rams.
Lose.
Okay. The next 3 games are on the road. Titans, Dolphins, and Ravens. A triple header on the road. Yeah.
They might beat the Titans, maybe.
Maybe. That's what I'm saying. They meet. Okay, let's say they beat the Titans, right? That's 1-4.
I think they're gonna lose to the Dolphins and the Ravens, though.
Yeah. I mean, there's a stat that says if you play back-to-back road games,
lose them. Yeah.
And you're a non-playoff team, it's like a 25% chance of winning. But if you are a playoff team, then it's like an 83% chance. I mean, it's like drastic on and you know how I feel about stats.
Oh, I know, stat boy.
Yeah, so
that's a big difference.
The schedule maker did not do him any favors. In fact, I saw it on NFL Network the other day. One of the things that they put in there is not to have back-to-back triple games, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but based on the schedule, sometimes someone's got to have that, you know?
Yeah.
So we come to our division champ.
Oh, I smell the bias here. I smell the Florida game. Let me do the chomp. There you go. I did the chomp, guys.
Does that play a little bit in it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I yes, call me crazy. I have the Jags winning the AFC South. There's major issues with the AFC South, from the Texans being a dumpster fire to so what I was going to say, going back to the Colts, is after they start off with their 1-4 season, I'm going to give the Colts the best case scenario, and Carson Wentz starts bringing them back. But you know how hard it is when you're down 1-4 to go 2-4, 3-4, 4-4.
Yeah.
So they're going to get back up to 500. They're going to be rolling. They might even be in our top 10 of the week or team to look out for. But guess what's going to happen?
What?
Carson Wentz is going to get injured
towards
the end of the season.
Who's the backup?
I have no idea.
Exactly?
It can't be that. So that's what's going to happen with him. Between the schedule makers not liking the Colts and Carson Wentz's propensity for injury, they are not going to make it, which leaves by default the Jags. Okay, so let's look into this. Is this crazy talk? Maybe. Okay.
Some bias? Maybe.
Okay. So I'll answer those questions for you.
Yeah.
So we have
to start.
Okay, so let's go to other rookie quarterbacks who won their division and had a winning record. Okay, so Ben Roethlisberger as a rookie.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah.
Amazing. I want to say he was 15-1 or something ridiculous like that. But, you know, they did have a defense in place, and the Steelers are 6-time Super Bowl, the most out of anybody. No,
they're not.
They're tied with the Patriots.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so everybody's comparing Trevor Lawrence. Are you a believer in Trevor Lawrence?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. So, sorry. Anyways,
that's fine.
That's my phone. It's bugging me. So, yes, Andrew Luck. That's who Trevor Lawrence is being compared to.
Yeah.
Okay. Andrew Luck came in the prior season. The Colts were 2-14. In Andrew Luck's rookie season, they went 11-5. Okay. So let's look at what the Jags do have. Okay.
Yeah.
They do have a rookie quarterback, and they do have a rookie head coach
and a running back.
And a running back. So they have
a rookie
what I call the they have a nice trifecta. Trifecta is you have a quarterback, you have a running back, and you have a wide receiver. So you have Trevor Lawrence, 34-2 in college. You have Travis Etienne, thank you, who's a dual threat running back, and as the wide receiver, you have Marvin Jones Jr., who stretches the field, home run threat.
Don't forget my boy DJ Chark.
You know what? It was DJ Shark. I looked at it, and all this time I thought it was DJ Clark. So I'll give you credit for that. Not only do you have Travis Etienne, you have James Robinson, who had a really nice season. Okay, and the coach, probably one of the most decorated college coaches ever. 1-2 for the Florida Gators. One with Ohio State. He just comes in with a different frame of mind, and I love that he's getting his boy Tebow in there. Everybody is trashing him. Listen, sports fans, he is not competing with Trevor Lawrence for the quarterback. If that was the issue, or that was the case, then you would have every right to say Tim Tebow doesn't deserve to be there. He is a specialist, H-back, tight end, fullbacks. He's going to score 6 to 8 touchdowns. He's not going to have a ton of yardage because he's going to be used in those short situations.
Yeah, in the goal line.
The goal line, exactly. I mean, this guy is a beast of a quarterback. He's like 6'4", 240, probably still has a 4.5, 4.6 speed. So, the Jags, they're not going anywhere after they win their division. They're going to get bumped out really quick. But it doesn't happen very often. But because the AFC South is so muddled, I got the Jags winning. I mean, I know it's a little bit of a shocker.
Don't worry. In about 20 weeks, we're going to make fun of you.
That's okay. That's all right. You got to take shots. I mean, I could be boring and be like ESPN and
say the easy win.
And say the Colts are going to win because Wentz and Reich are going to come together, and his days from his Philadelphia days are going to be forgotten, or the Titans winning as many games or as they lose, or winning a couple more games than they lose, I should say. All right, so that was the big shocker, the Jags, which you could sense coming.
Oh, I sense to see that big smile on your face, a big goofy grin.
All right. All right, now it is time for 5 random questions.
Our favorite part.
Yeah, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay, hold on. Let me toss this right here. Okay. We'll always start off with something simple, and then we get a little more complicated.
Yeah, you always try to trip me up and trap me. It never works, but I give you effort for trying.
One of these days, I'll get you. But like you got me with that kicker, who's a top
that was funny.
5 kickers.
You should have seen his face, guys.
I was stunned. I don't even know if I can name 5 kickers. All right, what's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Can I do sherbet too?
Sure.
Rainbow sherbet.
That's not a bad one.
I've had that since childhood and summer camp too. I would eat at the Baskin Robbins.
Yeah.
And they'd have rainbow sherbet. I'd get that all the time. That's a good memory.
That is good. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, it does sound good.
Yep. Now we got to go to the Baskin Robbins.
Baskin Robbins. Exactly. I'm gonna go with mine really quick. Is mint and chip.
Mint and chip. Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
I'll definitely buy that for you for your birthday. Yeah, I'll get you a whole tub.
Give me a birthday cake made out of mint and chip.
Yeah, and it'll say, remember what happened to the Niners during the Super Bowl? I was going to put on the top of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with a big middle finger with the cardinal bird on it.
Oh, boy. Wow. Oh, that is just mean and unwarranted. I have a quick little story on the mint and chip. So outside of Disneyland, when's the last time you've been to Disneyland?
A year ago, right before the pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I have annual pass.
There's Disney Town, right? Which is what you enter before you go in, right?
Yeah, downtown Disney.
Downtown Disney, right? They got some nice places to eat.
There's ice cream place there.
They got the ice cream place, right?
Yeah.
So it was I want to say it was Haagen-Dazs.
I think it was, yeah.
Okay, best ice cream I ever had.
Mint and chip.
Mint and chip, right? So they give it to me, and like a dummy, I'm like, I don't think this is mine because it's not green. And then, because real mint and chip
is not green.
It's not green. It's just a food coloring that so for all you people out there that have had the green mint and chip, you had the fake mint
You've been
chip.
living a lie.
You've
You
been
took the
living
blue pill.
Yeah, exactly. If you ever get to try the real version of the mint chip, which looks like I guess what's it called, the chocolate chip, right?
Yeah,
where it's the
it
white
does.
one. Yeah, it's amazing. So I never felt so
He's ascended, guys, to the
Yeah.
heavens of Haagen-Dazs.
okay. So okay, moving on to the next. Oh yeah, and by the way, you know how I always tell you there's a wrong answer for
Yeah,
these things.
yeah.
The wrong answer, if you and this is my dad,
Oh no.
freaking vanilla. Okay,
Why?
because it's so plain. Okay, look. Vanilla. If you say vanilla, you need to have it chocolate coated. Okay, you need to put caramel drizzle on it. Then you can't have vanilla by itself. Okay, if you say that that's your favorite ice
my
cream
dad does, though.
flavor,
He likes it.
he does. Of course,
He likes
it must be
vanilla.
a boomer thing. Maybe that's what it is.
You're one to talk Gen X.
No,
You're
Gen X
as
is
old as them. You're
no,
almost as old as
my
them,
God.
boy.
Gen X is so
I'm a
far ahead of
millennial here.
boomer. Okay, we still got style. All right, and for those people that have vanilla as
You're
their
probably
favorite,
a boomer. Yeah,
they're
it's
probably
okay,
a
though.
boomer,
I forgive you.
and they're probably that person that loves drinking milk. You ever meet those people that they love drinking milk? And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, are you having that with a piece of cake or a chocolate chip cookie
No,
melted?
just milk.
No, just milk.
And you're like, ah. Imagine
Okay.
drinking milk and then eating vanilla ice cream too, just to
Oh.
spite you right in front of your face.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that one of these days. I'm gonna come in during the show and be like, oh, this is good vanilla ice cream and milk.
You said sherbet, which was a great
Yeah,
answer,
very much
sort of
sherbet.
off the beaten path.
Yeah.
So I was ready to jump on you if you
Of
said
course
vanilla.
you were. Of course you
But
were. I know you were.
all right. I hope you know. You watch movies enough here
Yeah.
and there.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite '80s movie?
80s movie?
Yeah.
Oh man, from the 80s.
There's a ton of them. I mean, I think '80s is one of the best time for movies. I mean, some people argue it's the '90s or '70s, whatever.
For the 80s.
I mean, it could be a comedy. It could be.
I'm just thinking like, which movies that I like are from the 80s. 'Cause I don't think I have any from the 80s. Like,
really
I think I have some from the 70s. Star Wars.
okay, but that's '70s. I
Yeah.
need '80s.
I don't have any from the 80s.
Really?
buddy. No.
Okay.
The oldest I like is probably Star Trek, and that's 60s.
Oh boy.
See?
Wow.
I'm older than you, Mr. Gen X. How's it feel?
Okay.
And I like Jurassic Park, which is 1993. So
That's
that's
true.
also after the 80s. I don't like
boy.
any 80s movies, apparently.
Whoa.
Apparently.
Wow, that is blasphemy there.
Name some off then.
Okay,
I'll tell you if I like 'em.
okay.
Come on,
do
if
you
you're so
like?
smart.
Okay, do you like Back to the Future?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
there. Okay, so I gave you your '80s movie that you like.
That's the only one I know.
Okay. I bet you if I started naming '80s movies, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I like that."
But I
movie.
know they're from the 80s though, because
Okay.
all these movies now are in 4K and remastered and all this stuff you don't even know.
All right.
So probably
I'm gonna
Back to
I'm
the
gonna give you
Future.
mine. You weren't too far off.
Yeah.
Mine is Empire Strikes Back. I want to say it was '80s, so super early in the '80s.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll say that for you too. Okay.
Then it's Empire Strikes
Empire
Back.
Strikes
then.
Back,
Empire's
right?
one of the greatest movies ever made.
Yes. Thank you.
Especially the plot twist. I don't want to spoil it for any of
Yeah,
you
who haven't
Gen
seen
Zs,
it.
but there's a big plot twist in the middle, like near the end
Yes.
of the movie.
Okay. Cool.
The greatest.
Now,
one of the greatest
okay.
movies of all
I got
time.
respect for you
Yeah.
again.
Hey.
Okay. Empire Strikes Back. Yeah. I mean the
Definitely.
special effects.
Everything.
Yeah.
The
And with
plot.
that one, George Lucas ended up giving it to somebody else to direct, which was a great move on his part. It's dark. It leaves you on a cliffhanger.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, there's lots of other great '80s movies, but that's the one. And like you said, one of the greatest movies ever made. We're Star
Honestly.
Wars nerds,
Yeah.
but I mean,
No, just
yeah.
anyone in general.
Just
Just,
in-
watching it for plot alone.
Right,
Yeah.
right. No,
one of the
totally
best.
agree. Okay, so you're up on you're Lutheran, right?
Yeah.
Technically,
Yeah.
okay,
Technically,
I'm
yeah.
Lutheran too.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I love in Bible stories is the angel descending in the middle of the night, and right, I mean that's
Yeah.
how Mary was told that the Messiah was coming, and
Yep.
she would lay birth to him and all that stuff, and other ones where prophets were told what's going to happen. So in that scenario, okay, you have an angel descend to you, okay, in
Okay.
the middle of the night, and they say they're going to bless you with the power to be able to heal people. Anything. I mean, you're talking cancer, any type of, okay? But it comes at a cost, okay? So for every life that you save, you lose 1 day of your life. How many people are you saving? Chris, go. Did I stump you? Or are you just trying to process
10,000. So I only lose how many days in a year? 3,
Whoa.
6, 9,
Oh my God. Wait.
So I'd only live to like 40 or 50 or something. But that's fine. I just saved 10,000 lives.
Wow.
It's worth it.
Okay. You are a better man than me.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah. I would
I was just counting, make sure I had it a couple decades to say goodbye to everybody, and then I'd die.
It would make sense because, like, if the angel came down to you and told you that, and then you had the power to heal, obviously
Save people.
Obviously there's the faith is realized, right?
Yeah.
And like, okay, there is
If
something
I die,
after.
I go to
You're
heaven.
gonna
Yeah, I
have
guess that's it, yeah.
You're at the
Salvation,
top of the list.
yeah.
You're maybe sitting at the
There you
right
go.
hand because
There you go.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, you didn't think about that part, did you, Mr. Selfish?
No.
I know where you're going, and it's a little bit hotter down there than where you think you're going.
I would be a little bit more selective on who I would save, you know?
Yeah.
Cause I mean, if everyone knows that that's your ability, you might die in 24 hours because you'd have so many people coming up to you, you know, zapping your
I would do it
power.
in secret though. I would find
In
people
secret,
that I
okay.
saw that were, I would just touch them or whatever. They wouldn't
Okay.
even know. If I knew they were sick.
Oh,
I'd just
you
like,
were?
yeah.
Oh my God,
I
you were
would-
so different than me because I would want it like.
Oh, of course you'd want the attention.
I would want the show, you know? No, okay.
I would do it
know.
secretly.
That's
I
probably
would pretend to be some nurse or something at a
Oh,
hospital
wow.
and touch their hands like, it's going to be okay.
Oh,
Heal them, but they
wow.
won't even know, and I'd walk off.
Wow. Yeah, the Leo in me would have to have everybody know what I did. So who knows? In the end, that might keep me
That
from
might
the
actually-
pearly gates.
yeah, that might
like,
actually kill you.
Pride
Because there'll be too
cometh
many
before
people.
the fall. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I'd
Pride
live.
is a sin, and you are full of it,
Yeah, you are.
Milton.
Yeah, Mel.
Okay, I'm gonna throw you in purgatory till you figure it out.
You didn't
know?
catch me. I was counting to see how many decades I could take off my own life, so I could still have
okay.
10,
I know,
20 years.
I'm
See?
impressed. Instead of stumping you, you sort of stumped me. Yeah. Okay. All right. Wow.
You know, reverse card.
All right. What's your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet
Yeah,
peeve.
and I'm sure you have a lot of them.
Oh, I
Everybody
do,
does.
but
Okay.
my biggest one.
Yeah.
When you don't put the toilet paper on the right way.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, so if it
you-
goes under,
If it goes under, I'm done with you.
you're
it has
done.
to go over.
Over.
My
Okay.
grandma's the one that told me that.
Told you that.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember
Shout out to grandma.
someone telling
May
me
you
that
rest in
too.
peace.
Wow.
Yep.
That is
That's my biggest
like
one. If
pet,
I see it under, I'm done.
that is pet peevish if
It
I
is.
ever heard of
I mean,
it.
that's what a pet peeve is, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is some small thing that drives you crazy.
Yeah.
For me, it's people that are late. It just, I mean,
Oh, you mean that's not me?
it's not.
I came early.
You said you were here at 8:00 on the
I was
dot.
here at 7:55.
Yeah. So people that are late, they drive me crazy. I mean, they're wasting my time.
Yep.
You know, and my time is valuable. So
Okay, Leo.
right? That's such a Leo thing to say. So yeah, and we could probably do a whole podcast on just pet peeves alone, right?
no,
all the
please
things
don't.
that piss us off.
We just
All
have to
right.
do a reaction channel. That's all we need to do. Come on now.
All right. Next one. Have you ever seen the movie Life Stinks? Or
No.
do you Or do you know who Mel Brooks is?
I know who Mel Brooks is.
Okay. Have you seen any of his movies?
If you name a few,
Blazing
I could probably...
Saddles. Have you
Oh
seen
yeah,
that?
Blazing Saddles and was it Airplane? No, not Airplane.
No, not Airplane. He
Young
did
Frankenstein.
Yes, Young Frankenstein.
I love Young Frankenstein
Okay,
and Blazing Saddles.
Right?
Yeah.
Two of the funniest. He's done a whole bunch of other ones. He did History of the World. You love history, right?
I do.
So this
Let me
is,
guess, it's a comedy. Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, it's
Making fun of everyone's stereotype, I'm guessing. Come on.
There is some stereotyping. I don't know if Mel Brooks gets away with it because he's Jewish, so it's like he's able
yeah.
to do the things
Yeah.
that a lot of other people would get busted for, and that's a fine line because like comedians walk that line. You know, you
Can't
go
do it
too
now.
far,
You get canceled now. Yeah.
Yeah, you get canceled now. I mean, you saw who was the guy from Seinfeld? Do you watch Seinfeld?
I did. I used to a long time ago. I'm trying to remember his name now. Now
Yeah,
you
the
stumped
guy with
me.
the crazy hair.
Yeah, now you've stumped me. You have the crazy
so
hair.
now we couldn't figure out who Ponce de Leon was. With
Yeah,
the
but we can't figure this guy either.
And Kramer.
Kramer.
Kramer,
Thank you.
yeah,
Yes, Kramer.
when he started yelling the N-word in the during one of his comedy shows, and we haven't heard from him since. You know,
He probably got beat up in the back by all the black people that were at his comedy show.
Probably.
And they never saw him again.
Exactly. Never heard of again. Okay, so in the movie Life Stinks, probably one of my favorite underrated Mel Brooks movie. What it is he's a CEO, he's filthy rich, right? But then he gets in a bet with another rich dude, and the guy says, "You've had it so good all your life. I bet you couldn't live homeless, you know." For I forget what the time was. I don't know how long it was.
That's been quite a while, otherwise it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Right. I mean, we'll say it was a year.
A year?
You know? Yeah.
Okay.
So
did he?
He does, and
of course he does.
it's hilarious. I mean, it's Mel Brooks at his best, you know, dealing with the homeless people.
Oh my god. Okay.
If you get a chance, watch Life
definitely will
Stinks.
watch it
Okay.
now.
So
Okay.
that leads me up to
The question.
Okay. So, would you be homeless for 1 year if after that year you were given your house was paid in full, a car of your choice, and a nice cush job, okay? And don't try to the requirements here, or I should say the rules here is you can't get a job.
Okay.
The only thing you can do is you could beg for change, and I'll let you collect cans to get your next meal. I don't think anybody could know about this. Is that enough incentive for you to be homeless for a year? Because a lot of I've heard this, some philosophers or some college students that are philosophers, you know, because they're sort of a little bit on the crazy side, they'll do that. They'll go homeless for a year just to see what life's about. And I mean, kudos to them, you know. But your answer?
No, I wouldn't.
Oh, you wouldn't?
No,
Okay.
I'm actually fortunate with what I have, and I know how it feels
Okay.
because I've had friends who were homeless or didn't have a steady job, so they've
Okay.
talked to me about it before. So
Oh,
I
okay.
know it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
If I threw in a nice bride from Russia, like a beautiful.
Stop! I'm about to cut you off. You're about to get canceled on Twitter. All right, let me go text all my friends. What's the right answer for you?
Oh, you know what? I've had much too good of a life. I've been pampered. I wouldn't last a couple days. Yeah, okay?
You're different than me. I think I would last, but I don't
Yeah.
want to because I know what I have is good.
Okay.
I don't want to get greedy.
All right.
Because that leads to a certain really
Yeah.
hot place down below. Yeah.
No, definitely.
That's
And
where you're going.
there's a lot of friends. Like I said last week, I forget
Mr.
what
Leo.
what the money thing was. Remember one of our questions was.
Oh yeah, all the money. Yeah. What'd they say?
I don't know. I haven't asked,
They
but
they do it?
There's people that worship money, and they would do this in a
Gee,
heartbeat.
Of course they would.
Yeah, in fact, one of my listeners, I'm pretty sure, he would do it. It'd have to be a heavy price, but he would do it.
Of course.
All right, so that wraps up our 5 questions. And for the last part, we are now going to go for the division champs in the NFC.
NFC least first, so I can talk about a certain.
No, we're gonna. I don't have them first. I have NFC South.
Oh, so
Okay.
you mean not the NFC South? You mean the Buccaneers?
Right. The Buccaneers.
Just the
division.
Buccaneers. That's it's their division. It's just them.
Right. Okay. So, like I said, I'm putting who's not, playoffs, and the division champ. Okay, who's not? The Panthers.
Not the
Okay,
Panthers.
Yeah. They don't have much at quarterback. I'm not a big believer in Sam Darnold. Matt Rule, I do believe in him.
Of course you do.
Yeah, he's got a 3-year plan. This is his 2nd year. So I
One more
think,
year.
yeah, he's going to make his defense better until he finds his offense, which means you need to have a quarterback to figure that part out. He's got Christian McCaffrey, probably the best all-purpose running back. But sorry, they're probably going to win more games than they won 5 last year, so I'll give them like 7 this year.
7 or 8.
Yeah,
There's more
it's
ga-
sort of
there's
like
one
what he
more
did in
game.
college, you know, had a 2-win season, then he was 7, and then before you knew it, he had 10 or 11 wins and was winning a bowl game. So it's not your time yet. You've admitted you're on a 3-year plan, so you're out. Next on the out are the Falcons, even though they sort of
Dirty Birds.
The Dirty Birds, exactly. You got a rookie head coach in Arthur Smith.
Not impressed with his press conference.
Oh, you saw his press conference?
Yeah, I looked at clips.
Oh, did you? Okay,
Not
yeah.
very impressed.
Everything you need to know for a
you
coach.
taught me that, yeah.
Absolutely. That is a nugget right there. You got a terrible defense. You lost both your starting safeties. You lost your defensive coordinator. In the draft, you did get the best weapon in college football, which is Kyle Pitts, exactly. Yeah. You're going to have lots of shootouts. You're going to score 30-some points, but
you're going to get scored on by 40 and lose.
Yeah, exactly. The Falcons will have an occasional upset, I mean, one year they beat the 49ers, they beat the Saints. So if you're a betting person,
theoretically,
watch out for the Falcons. They're sort of like the Chargers. They will bite you. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, Saints, you're not making it.
You lost Breeze.
You're maxed out on your credit card. You're $72 million.
It's going to bounce.
It's going to bounce. Exactly. What do you have at quarterback? You have Jameis Winston, who's a former turnover machine. And then you have
Taysom
Hill, who's a fancy gadget quarterback.
Yeah.
I think Taysom Hill works in small doses. I don't think he works as a quarterback. Here's another movie for you. I'm always referencing movies.
I know you are. You just have a movie channel at this point.
I know. Well, you know what? I mean, originally the name of this show was going to be Sports, Movies, and Mayhem. You know, because I mean, I love me some sports. You do too.
Yep. Movies.
We both love movies and we love food. I mean, that's sort of the trinity of my enjoyment. And if I could put it all together,
your whole life. Yeah.
Then that's great. But so how I see Taysom Hill is the movie Catch Me If You Can. Have you seen that movie?
Heard of it.
Okay,
I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Watch it. Probably one of Steven Spielberg's best movies. One of Tom Hanks' best movies, and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Hanks. And Leo. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, right? Is that a trinity right there?
That's the trinity. My God, I have to watch
Steven Spielberg, one of the best directors of all time. Tom Hanks, probably one. I mean, and Leonardo DiCaprio.
In their prime, probably.
In their prime, because this is like early 2000s. You know?
Okay, yeah. My God.
Yeah, it's a, and you know how you can tell a great movie?
Yeah.
Is if you repeat viewings. If you can only watch a movie once or twice, it's not really great. But there's certain movies that halfway through you could jump in and watch it. That's one of them. So Leonardo DiCaprio, he was a con man. His dad is played by Christopher Walken, who's another amazing actor.
Oh my God, just keep dropping names, man.
Yeah, there's a couple more in there too.
Yeah,
if you're going. I want to say Jennifer
it.
Gardner. Is she the one that plays the call girl? Yeah. Wow. So, getting back to Leonardo DiCaprio, he has to convince everybody that he's a doctor, he's a lawyer,
he's a con man,
he's a pilot, right? So that's what Taysom Hill has to do. He has to convince us: is he a quarterback, or is he just a con man playing the role of quarterback? That's
he might be actual quarterback. He's a fan favorite.
He is.
His college football story is
over the course of a year, we'll see. Yeah. I mean, would you take Jameis Winston or would you take Taysom Hill?
Taysom Hill. Jameis Winston just turns it over.
He does.
Taysom Hill, you have a chance. You don't know. I'd rather go with unknown than knowing.
Yeah, I'll give Sean Payton the benefit of the doubt, but with their credit card maxed out and uncertainty at quarterback, they still have Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas.
Yeah, come on.
But man, I don't think they have the second receiver on the other side, which would help an inexperienced quarterback. So there's going to be issues, and the biggest issue of them all is that the freaking Bucks are in their division. Okay, 22 of 22 starters. Brady's a 7-time champ.
Yeah. It's just all Bucks.
They're getting weapons that they didn't have last year. O.J. Howard, he's going to be returning to the fold along with Gronk. Giovanni Bernard. Third down specialist.
Yeah.
So, and you know what? The Bucks are going to win their division, and they're going to. I don't want to say they'll go undefeated because that's tough, but man, they're going to be
16-1.
Yeah, 16-1, 15-2.
Yeah.
I think they'll win so many games in a row that they'll be forced to sit their starters because Brady will think the last time we went 18-0,
we lost.
We lost. Or sorry, 16-0.
Yeah, we lost.
We lost. So maybe they take a page out of
You
history.
don't want to injure your starters either because
Yeah.
they had injuries.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it barely came
Who cares
back in
about the
time.
loss? It's all
Yeah.
about the chip.
All about the
Yeah,
championship.
and look who their competition is, okay? I mean, you have the NFC West, which is a bloodbath between those 4 teams.
Yeah.
You have the NFC East, which you call the NFC least.
a lot of people do.
Yeah,
And
a lot of
laugh.
people-
It's a laugher. It's like
It's
a
like
friendly
someone's
laugh,
got
though.
to win it,
Yeah, it's a
probably with
friendly
like
laugh.
a 9-8 record.
Giants.
And then you have the NFC North, who were the ones with the Packers that hosted the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
But man, with Rodgers, is he going to play? Is he going to be traded? If he
Yeah,
does
I know.
play, he's going to be so inside his head that the chip will actually take him down. Last year it elevated him. This
Yeah.
year it's going to sink him. So it's such an easy path for the Bucks. I mean, barring injury,
That's what
and,
I'm saying.
and we'll see
No
who
injury.
plays on the other side. One of 3 teams, really. Bills, Browns, Chiefs.
Yeah.
That's it. Those are the 3 teams that will show up. One of those 3 teams.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, do you have any problem with the NFC South as far as?
No, that's all pretty good.
Okay.
It's just you said the name wrong again. It's the NFC Bucks.
NFC Bucks.
Yeah, it's just the Bucks. It's no one else. They're gonna go 2-0 on the rest of their division.
Yeah,
So
and it's
2-0
funny
against
because the
everyone.
Saints have owned the division.
Yeah.
Have they owned it for like the last?
2 wins. They're gonna get 6-0, or is it gonna be? Isn't it more now? Because you said there's one extra game against.
Oh,
the
there's
division?
one. No, I mean it's still
So
6.
7-0?
Yeah, no, it's still you're still playing 6 division games.
Oh.
You just play an extra game, but
Oh.
that extra game happens to be a division game. That's where I think.
It doesn't count though towards the division wins.
No, I mean you just have. It's that 6th game. So the 6th game division game
Uh-huh.
is being played. Happens to be being played on the last game of the season.
Oh, okay.
Got it? Okay.
That makes sense.
All right,
Okay.
cool. All right, now we are moving on to the NFC North. Who's out? Lions. I know you're building.
Rawr.
Meow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're building the trenches, which says that you're building for the future, but you have very limited artillery. You have Goofy Goff back
Yuck.
there. Exactly. There'll occasionally be other losers, but I'd be shocked if they beat anybody with a winning record.
with firepower. Yeah.
With firepower, exactly. Next on the list that's not making the playoffs, a lot of people seem to be high on them. They were high on them last year when they had
Yeah.
them ranked in the bottom part of the top 10.
Yeah.
Are the Vikings.
They
I
are
mean,
making it.
kudos that you gave or drafted an awesome left tackle in Christian Darrisaw.
Yeah. Pretty
you
good.
Yeah, you got a pair of reliable wide receivers. Adam Thielen. I think he's been breaking down lately. That's just what it seems like. And then you have rookie sensation Justin Jefferson out of that amazing wide receiver class last year. He was the only one that had double-digit touchdowns, like 1,300 yards,
Yeah,
something
pretty
like
good.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, amazing for a veteran stud wide receiver.
Well, as a rookie.
Yeah. You got the most dynamic back in football, which is Dalvin Cook, but
I don't know.
he's rarely there, you know? I mean, as soon as he's out, then it's like, oh, they're going to pass because they ain't going to run. And also Kevin Stefanski, who helped Kirk Cousins look like a pretty good quarterback and get him to the playoffs. He took his talents to the Browns.
Oh boy.
Took his genius over there. Defense is their bread and butter. Mike Zimmer's the defensive coordinator. I was impressed that they took a bunch of rookies and had somewhat of a defense. But when your defense is your bread and butter and Kirk Cousins has like a terrible record in prime time, I don't know if
And
he's
you're
won.
in the NFC North.
And you're in the NFC North,
Oh, boy.
okay? Next up are the Bears, okay? They get into the playoffs
Yeah.
or they win the division if something happens to Aaron Rodgers, a trade, a sit out, or even him playing but not wanting to play.
And Andy
Okay.
Dalton gets injured or gets benched, and it's
Yeah. Eventually, Justin Fields will
Fields.
get on and be like, "Oh my God, why didn't we start this guy sooner? Maybe
Yeah.
we would have made the playoffs." But
Exactly.
if the Packers don't have Rodgers, they are going to be sitting buddy with the Lions and be like, "Oh my God, what are we doing sitting next to you? Oh, we've turned into the Lions because Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the quarterback's the most important position, followed by a coach.
Yep.
And Matt LaFleur."
Remember we did.
Yeah, a young coach
Field
who did
goal.
the bonehead play.
Field
I'm going to
goal.
go for a field goal. We're down 8 points. 2
Against
minutes.
Tom
I'm going
Brady.
to give it back to Brady. I'm sure Brady's never done anything with it before. That's the safe play. So, yeah. And also, with the Bears, why do I have them above the Vikings? I'm glad you asked, Bears fans. Because
Yeah.
Matt Nagy is 5-1 against the Vikings. That is ownership. Okay?
Truly.
And the Bears defense, they lost some of their players like Kyle Fuller
Yeah.
and you know,
But they kept Khalil Mack.
they did keep
He gets
Khalil
doubled all the
Mack.
time. He gets held.
Yeah, and I think the Bears defense was thinking, what do we have to do to win this game? Because if we get down by a touchdown or two and then have to turn it over to Mitch Trubisky, it's over. Now, you know, you play good defense and then you have Justin Fields come on and there's some excitement and some winning ways. So the future looks bare.
Because he can run.
The future looks bare.
The future looks very bright.
There you
I'll
go.
see
Good
myself
save.
out.
Good. There you go. Thank you for saving me. So yeah, I mean the Packers have the ultimate trifecta. When you say with Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and Aaron Jones.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
if Rodgers doesn't
out,
play or
yeah.
sits out or there's some issue with him, Bears, you will be the winner of the NFC North. Not that you'll go anywhere. You'll get bounced in the first round of the
That
playoffs.
happened last time against the Saints.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah, exactly. Or they got bumped by the Eagles the year before that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see where we're at. Okay. NFC West.
Hey, it's ours.
Yeah, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but who's out? The Cardinals.
What?
Yeah, I know, and you can argue.
I disagree with that so much.
Okay.
That's not even funny.
Okay, and you know what? I am a big believer of Kyler Murray, especially with DeAndre Hopkins. He's got Rondale Moore, the short little wide receiver. But the problem I have with the Cardinals is Cliff Kingsbury. Okay, he had an under 500 record in college, which is not hard to do. I mean, come on, you're in college. Usually when you get picked to go to the pros from college, it's because you dominate. Okay, I mean, he didn't even have a winning record. And you know, I was looking down the list, and Cliff Kingsbury is one of the few head coaches who actually calls his own plays. I want to say that Sean McVay does too, maybe a couple other ones.
Yeah.
Cliff Kingsbury, you do not know what you're doing. As long as you're calling the plays, give it to some hot shot offensive coordinator. You know, I mean, someone like a Eric Bieniemy, and you coach the team, take the other responsibilities. But I honestly think that he's holding him back. You give me another coach who I like and the Cardinals, I might give you guys the NFC West or at least put you into the playoffs. But Cliff Kingsbury was my final decision on why I'm holding the Cardinals out. And I know you
vehemently disagree.
I get it. That was a tough decision. Okay. Yeah. My wild cards are going to the Rams. Sean McVay hasn't had a losing season yet. I think with Matt Stafford, in the time that Matt Stafford is able to play, because he's going to be injured.
Oh, I know.
You know, he's got Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp and Cam Akers. So I don't think the Rams are as good as everybody. I mean, I saw them as ranked as high as number 4. Definitely top 10. I think they're more realistically in that 15-16 range. But, you know, Sean McVay is a genius. And if Matt Stafford can avoid injuries, because he's no longer playing with the Lions, he's playing with one of the best play callers in football with Sean McVay. But, you know, when you've played 13 out of 32, you started 13 out of 32 games with Matt Stafford, I'm just questioning how well or how far or well you'll do. And I hate to put these guys in, the Seahawks, because I don't like them. They're just that person who, like, everybody at the party you invited, there's great chemistry, and then that one dude that you specifically didn't invite and you told his friends that you didn't want him coming, shows up at the party, and just the vibe changes. And oh man, I hate having those type of people come to my party. That's the Seahawks. Russell Wilson has a chip on his shoulder, much like Aaron Rodgers did last year.
But
He's going to use that chip. He's got Tyler Lockett that's locked up, DK Metcalf who will be locked up, and they're going to score a bunch of points. I think their defense is going to play better. They got a new offensive coordinator, so it's not enough to win the division. The reason I don't give them the division this year and just give them a wild card is because their O-line has some issues. They've sort of, ever since they got rid of Matt Unger for
some other guy,
for a tight end.
Oh, really? A tight end for Matt Unger?
Yeah.
No.
I want to say he plays for the Packers. I forget what his name is, but he played for the Saints and then he played for the Packers. The name slips my mind. But they had major issues at center. They had 3 people. It was funny. One of them was like has never played center, and then the other guy had major injury issues, and then the other guy has only played guard. So it's like center is such a valuable position. You're calling out the blitzes. You're right next to the quarterback. You're essentially his bodyguard. So you're going to see Russell Wilson running for his life. Maybe not quite like Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, but all right. And that leaves, and maybe I'm a little bit biased, but
you're majorly
biased.
Yeah,
all right. The 49ers as the champs, they did a great job. The Chiefs almost stole Trent Williams, which I would have hated them for. I mean, I hate that they beat the 49ers, but I would have just been, I would have hated the Chiefs for the rest of my life, but they signed Trent Williams, one of the best left tackles. They signed Alex Mack, who's a center. I just went over the valuableness of center, and he's one of the better ones, the better vets. I love the weapons. You have Kittle, you have Ayuk, and you have Deebo Samuels. The front 7 is essentially back, especially Bosa. The secondary is a little bit thin. That could probably maybe be their Achilles, but and you have Trey Lance. I mean, you start off with Jimmy Garoppolo because you don't want to overwhelm Trey Lance, but Trey Lance will come in probably sooner than later. And Shanahan is a master play caller. The great thing about bringing in Trey Lance slowly is that the 49ers are a running team, not a passing team. I was looking at, does Julio Jones, or does not Mike Shanahan, sorry, that was his dad, who won 2 Super Bowls. Kyle
Shanahan.
Does he want Julio? I've never been a big fan of Julio Jones, especially if it means giving up Kittle, Ayuk, or Deebo Samuels. No thanks. He's going to be too much on the books, and let the Falcons deal with, much like the Saints, salary cap issues. So I'm happy with what we have. We still need a third wide receiver as a slot. Maybe a mid-season trade for somebody that's disgruntled with their, maybe somebody on the Packers, one of their wide receivers, you know, Aaron Rodgers, Lazar.
Yeah, not even throwing him anymore. They're like, we give up.
Aquinius, St. Brown. They got like weird names, right? For the second wide receiver. Yeah. That's what I'm telling John Lynch. Maybe I'll text him. A good friend of mine. Well, you know what? My friend actually played, I want to say, baseball and football with him. So I will call my friend to have him call John Lynch to whisper in his ear what to do. So far, the whisperings have worked.
Yeah, I know.
Because it takes a lot to convince Kyle Shanahan, because he's an maniacal freak. Okay, so that is enough for the 49ers. All right, and then our last divisional champs, we have the NFC East.
Least. And got a shout out.
Okay.
Our only fan.
Oh yeah. Daniel
Murray.
Okay, yeah. We'll get to Daniel Murray.
Yeah.
Okay, so who is not going to win the division? Okay. Eagles, exactly. We'll start off with them. Hey, I'm a big believer in Jalen Hurts. What he did at Alabama, sat behind Tua, was a man about it, but then transferred to Oklahoma, had them in the playoffs, had some nice games last year for a mess of a team, but they got some major issues. I saw Nick Sirianni at the press conference, and if you've seen the Adam Gase press conference, this one goes toe-to-toe with it. First of all, he was reading off of notes, And it went something like this. I mean, I'm probably not even repeating what he said, but it was like, we are going to be a good team. We are going to play hard. We are going to try our best. I mean, literally, it was like he had that type of tone, and I was like,
You're like, oh no,
oh my god! Not only is he a rookie, but this guy is coming into a mess. So yeah, and you know, I lost even more faith in the Eagles because he's one of those coaches that's like, no one has their job security here, which means Jalen Hurts. Are you telling me Joe Flacco?
Joe Flacco
Washed
take
up.
it.
I mean, if you look up washed up quarterback in the dictionary,
He went from the Super Bowl to that.
Yes,
to
okay.
What?
And I don't even know the name of their late round rookie quarterback, which unless he's the next coming of Tom Brady, in the sixth round.
Yeah.
No, just say Jalen Hurts, believe in him, and he's your quarterback, and live and die with him. So, oh my God. I wish, I mean, if Nick Sirianni could get a job with the Eagles, why can't Chris and I have a job coaching, you know, or being the coordinator? So yeah, it's bad. I mean, there is zero chance of them winning the division or making the playoffs or even having a winning record. This is a rebuilding process. Sort of sad because 3-4 years ago they won the Super Bowl, right? And all those guys are gone. Carson Wentz is gone to Nick Foles. I want to say he's still with the Bears. And then I don't think he has a job. The other guy, what's his name?
I don't even know.
The coach for the Eagles.
Oh yeah.
Why do we stump up?
We always stump up on that. But yeah, see, he doesn't have a job. He's done.
The what the F, or as we like to call
Washington
them,
the
Washington football team. Not. We won't say
don't say the stereotypical.
I won't say the
name.
stereotypical Indian name exactly because we are not that kind of show.
Nope.
So okay, I'll give them that they have one of the best defenses in the NFL.
Definitely. The front four.
They have some nice weapons with Antonio Gibson and Terry McLaurin. Yeah. At quarterback, you have Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's magic.
Fitzmagic.
He's going to have some 400-yard games. He's going to have He's going to win a few. Yeah. But is he going to really last the whole season? You're telling, not 16, 17 games. That's what he's going to do, and he's going to get double-digit wins. No, sorry, Ron Rivera, you won last year, but this year you're not. Okay, I'm probably going to be reluctant on this, but the next one is the Cowboys. They are going to get into the playoffs as a wild card. I think it's going to take some time to build up the momentum. Dak Prescott, I mean, he had his foot turned around.
Yeah, right? I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, was it off like a 90-degree angle?
80, 70 degrees? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, he's got Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Mike Gallup, yes.
Yep, he's got a lot.
Zeke, but the offensive line is missing pieces. And so what was once a strength is now a weakness. The defense is littered with defensive rookies. But I think in time, especially with Dan Quinn, he wasn't a coach, but sometimes coaches aren't coaches. They're coordinators. I think he will whip them into shape. And they get into the playoffs, but that's where it ends. You know, I mean, Cowboy fans... you're used to disappointment for the last since 95, so you're talking a quarter of a century.
The catch.
The catch, yeah, exactly. You got to be really old school to be still hurt by the catch, yeah.
Yeah, but they are.
They are, yeah.
It was a throwaway pass.
Yeah, the throwaway pass. Okay.
Sorry, Cowboys fans.
Yeah. All right, so that leaves us, the winner of the NFC East. The New York Giants. Okay. There's different reasons for this. I've been watching the Giants collecting quite a few skilled players. Okay. Yep. You go out and get Golladay. I learned in a painful way when I lost a bet.
Ooh.
Yeah. That had I known Golladay was playing on the Lions, I wouldn't have put my money on the Cardinals. That's how much of a difference.
Theoretically,
yeah. They got a slot wide receiver mismatch in Kadarius Toney, put him all over the field. They picked up Kyle Rudolph, who's a great in the end zone, also blocking. Also picked up Corey Clement, Kelvin Benjamin, Saquon Barkley for the first time. For this to work for the New York Giants to be the NFC East champs, Saquon Barkley has to play the whole season,
Stay
which
healthy,
in an underrated defense. They played really well. I like what I saw with Joe Judge. I first of all, I wrote him off as like, oh, another Belichick disciple. But hey, the Belichick disciples have been doing pretty good lately. Brian Flores in Miami, and now Joe Judge with the New York Giants. It is the NFC East, so it's definitely possible. It comes down to Daniel Jones. This is his third year. That's that magical jump. Last year, from his second to third year, I looked at the numbers and I said, you know what? Based on these numbers, Josh Allen is going to make that big jump because his second year numbers were better than his first year numbers in that jump.
What about Daniel Jones?
So I looked at Daniel Jones and I liked his numbers because, when I looked at Sam Darnold, I mean, his interceptions were twice as many as his touchdowns, So with the Giants being a bad team the last 2 years, having a losing record, Daniel Jones had 35 touchdowns and 22 interceptions. His completion percentage of 62% wasn't that good, and he needs to cut down on the fumbles.
Yeah.
And hopefully the offensive line coalesces, but it's just too many weapons for even a quarterback of Daniel Jones caliber. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Giants fans out there, when you were asking why I had him so low in the power rankings,
the power
first of all is because you guys are in the NFC East, so the highest you'll get in the power rankings is, what is there, 14 teams?
14 teams,
yeah,
so 14.
So 14, 13, whatever.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm sure Giants fans are going to be happy with the NFC East division. You'll probably get bumped out by one of the heavyweights, the Bucks, the 49ers, whoever is
who's there,
who you will be facing because you will be one of the last teams to get in.
I'm switching Rams with Cardinals.
You could do that. I'm okay with that because Cardinals I was going back and forth and I was like, there's so much hype on the Rams and like F the Rams, let me slip in the Cardinals. So
Cardinals,
I'll give you the power.
That's my only disagreement.
I'll give you the power to do that. And you know what? Let's throw the Rams out there and put in the Cardinals. For my buddy Chris.
Yeah.
But that is it. So I hope you guys enjoy the NBA playoffs. And we will be here next week with who knows what, but I'll figure something out till then. Have a good day.